have been battling with hyperpigmentation, sunspots, and melasma for years. And I have tried literally everything. Everything. So I always have had freckles, but as I've gotten older, and especially after having children, those freckles morphed into melasma. They call it the pregnancy mass, if that's something that's hormonal, and I suspect that's it for me, but I'm not pregnant anymore. I still got the melasma. So I'm always trying different things. I'm always trying different products. I'm trying lasers, and I wanted to share with you something really interesting that I just tried recently. And I hadn't really heard people associating this with helping with melasma or sunspots, but I have somebody that I go to for my Botox, and yes, I get Botox. Her name is Nicola. I will go ahead and put her Instagram here. You can see it here, and I'll put it in the description down below. I've been going to her for years, and she had posted a photo of before and after of someone that had incredible results from microneedling. And I immediately text her. I'm like, wait, what is this? Like, can this help me? Can you do this for me? I asked her, what exactly does this entail? And by the way, my name is Erica Vieira. If you're new here, usually I post videos about YouTube creators, but I have a lot of other things that I love talking about. And I thought every now and then I might do something about beauty, fashion, lifestyle, productivity, personal things. And if that sounds like something you want to see more of, let me know in the comments, because I'm like a human experiment. I'm always trying different things. I love to try different things. And so anyways, I asked her, like, what is this? Like, what does this entail? And so it was definitely an investment for me to do. It is not cheap, and it wasn't just one microneedling treatment. It was a series of treatments. I embarked on a series of 6. And in order for it to work the way that she does it, and she says she's done this to hundreds of people over the years, you have to do a microneedling appointment, and then every appointment after that needs to be within 2 to 4 weeks. And so we scheduled out the appointments, and then, some were a month apart, but most I try to keep as close to 2 weeks apart. This video is gonna share with you my experiences with microneedling. Did it work? How much does it cost? Is it effective? What does it entail? Does it hurt? I'm gonna answer all those questions in this video. So first off, what is microneedling? Now, I'm not a cosmetic expert. I'm not someone like Nicola who knows really what she's doing about microneedling, but from my understanding, microneedling is a cosmetic procedure that involves pricking the skin with very small, sterilized, clean needles. And those small wounds that you get from those pricks cause your skin to create more collagen and elastin, which heal your skin and actually make it look younger. So that's the basis of microneedling. There's a ton of videos here on YouTube if you want to get more into the science of it, because I don't have the knowledge for that. But I do know that it's definitely been trending recently. A lot of people have been trying it and seen some really great results. So how much does it cost? So each session, and keep in mind, I'm in Los Angeles, so the price somewhere else across the US might be different. I suspect that the prices in LA are probably the highest of anywhere in the country, but it was $550 roughly per session for 6 sessions. So it was definitely a big investment for me. So why did I do this? So the main thing that got me interested in doing the microneedling was to hopefully help my melasma and at least reduce the look of it, make it not look like I'm have so much of that hyperpigmentation. And I also thought, well, even if it doesn't reduce my melasma, I know that I'm getting so many other benefits from the microneedling for my skin in general. So I kind of found it as like a win-win, and that's also what appealed to me. I also have tried other things before. I've tried lasers, I've tried hydroquinone, I've tried every skincare product that you can think of that combats melasma, and I really find that for me, skincare doesn't really do too much, but I'm always on the quest for the best skincare routine and watch tons of those videos all the time. So what is involved in doing this treatment, and how do you prep for it? And so Nicola has a very particular way that she does this series of treatments, and she actually requires that anybody that does a microneedling series with her, that they get on a very specific skincare regimen. So Nicola is a big fan of a brand called Environ, which I was brand new to it. I wasn't familiar with before, and they're not associated with this video or anything at all. I had to pay for all this stuff myself, and it was really expensive. That's the thing. I was a little like, oh my God, this skincare is really, really, really expensive. But I'm also a big believer in trusting trusting the process, trusting the people that I go to, and saying if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it the right way. So I did go ahead and buy these products, and they're specifically to help with melasma. And then I start off with this toner, and then add on these two things, which I combine and then put on. And then there's this Mela Even cream, which I put on at the end. And then there's also an additional cream that I put on that I don't have anymore because I ran out, but I will put all that in the description below. So I needed to do that skincare process for a month before our first appointment, and then throughout the whole 6 weeks. So these three actually lasted me the whole time, but this is my second one of this one. So the cost included both the sessions plus all of these products, which, if I recall, all the products together was about probably $400 or $500. It was a lot of money. So it was a lot. Yeah, sometimes I'm crazy. It was a lot of money. It's like, for me, that's a lot of money to spend on skincare. But after a while, after trying everything under the sun, I know I've spent more on skincare from drugstore and everywhere, Sephora, over the years, right? So sometimes you're like, if it works, it works. I'm willing to do it. So what's the process like? When I show up, I wash my face. They give me something to wash my face, and then they numb me. So they just numb me up. They actually put like saran wrap on my forehead. So I guess it locks in the numbing even more, and it numbs it even more. You can see kind of the goopy goop of the numb. It's working. It definitely stings a little bit. You can feel it and you're like, oh, okay. But it's what you gotta do. So they numb me, and I sit around to numb for about 45 minutes. So I usually brought my laptop or had things to do on my phone while I waited for the numbing. Then the procedure starts. I'm gonna insert some clips in here for show Nicola talking about the process.
So melasma is probably one of the hardest issues to correct. There's many attempts with different topical prescription medications as well as different lasers. Personally, I have found the combination of the appropriate nutrients being applied to the skin kind of as a prep before we do our needling sessions, and then going into the needling sessions, really focusing in on those areas of pigmentation. The goal being to increase the health of that melanocyte, to get it to actually stop overproducing pigment as opposed to trying to suppress it. And I think that's a better way of going. When we use topical creams, medications, I think that the suppression of the melanocyte sometimes kind of comes back to kick us in the butt, right? Because then when we stop using those certain products, then we actually see kind of we see like a resurgence and almost an increase, because it's like it's been suppressed, and then it's almost like you let out a caged angry animal, right? And then it just kind of comes back a little bit more voraciously.
That happened to me.
Well, there we go. So here we are trying what I think is more appropriate and just long-term goal. I've had some really, really great success. We never promise 100%, but our goal is to provide a significant improvement, and I think that we are seeing that 4 weeks in, and we're doing these very clustered close together. And the beauty with microneedling is that the results, your increase in cellular turnover and your collagen production kind of keeps going for months and months and months, even after our last session. So I think, even after we're all done with the 6 that we're intending to do, we're going to continue to see improvements in your skin over time with the appropriate use of all the right products, which Erica's doing a great job. She's fully committed, and I'm actually pretty stoked. And also I see a big difference in the pore size, especially kind of in the central aspect of the face, from the nose kind of coming into the medial cheek. And then the forehead to me just seems actually, we do a nice job with our neuromodulators, but I also think that just the tissue itself, some of the fine lines, she has kind of thinner tissue, so not like deep folds and wrinkles, but just lots of fine lines, and I'm seeing a softening of those fine lines as well. So I'm pretty stoked about where we're going. So let's do this. We're done needling, and this is a TCA peel that we're going to leave on her for about 4 minutes. And what I love about this is, we've opened up the skin, everything's kind of open and, a little susceptible, but by putting this on, we're killing any bacteria that could be on the skin. It helps to shrink down the pores, kind of close everything off. start the healing process. But this also will target that pigmentation as well. And it also will induce just a little bit of that superficial skin, that kind of those dead skin cells to slough off. And we do that every week, and that kind of just allows the skin to be even more open and new, and to absorb those products that she's going to be applying after the procedure is done for her healing time. We're just cooling down our skin after we remove the peel. Just feels nice to have the cold, wet towels. Mm-hmm. After I beat you up, I'm nice too.
This does really feel so better.
So much better.
Yes.
So now we are applying the Après CIT peptides. CIT standing for collagen induction treatment. Microneedling is considered a cold induction of collagen because there's no heat. It's not a laser, but it's creating the collagen cascade from the trauma itself of all those teeny tiny little needles that are kind of oscillating back and forth through the dermis into the stratus corneum, where we're really kind of eliciting that cascade of events where the platelets are released from that pinpoint bleeding, and then we have growth factors that come to the area to kind of heal everything up. And through all of that, and kind of through that tissue healing, those growth factors, that's also what's going to affect the melanocytes to really kind of get into a healthier state of activity. And really, you know, melasma is just overactivity of those melanocytes that are creating those pigmentations. And they're triggered, oftentimes it's genetic, but, you know, many times also with women, we can see it getting much worse during pregnancy or other hormonal changes in life.
Yeah, mine got worse during pregnancy, both of them.
Yep.
Worse in the second pregnancy, too.
And this feels good, just to have this kind of oil on the face. And it's really good in your downtime to make sure that you're keeping the skin moist. Moist skin heals faster and more appropriately than skin that's drying out too much. So, all right, all done.
All right, so I'm back in the car. This is what I look like. I definitely feel numb and a little frozen, but she also gave me an oil, facial oil. So I have a cream at home, which I will show you in a minute. And I put that on. It's a peptide cream, and I put this on over it. And I do that 2 more times today. So once in a few hours, and then right before I go to bed. And then I do it tomorrow several times throughout the day. And then the day after is when I can start putting sunblock and other things. This is what my skin looks like a little over 24 hours after the microneedling. And I have been applying just some very, only 2 products. I have, this is an oil that she gave me, and then I have a peptide serum that I'm going to show you. So I've been putting the oil on several times throughout the day because, as you can see, it's like very dry, really dry. Almost a little bit like, it feels like, you know how you have like glue, if glue ever like cracks and on your face, it feels like that. So you gotta really keep it moist for a few days. I can't wear sunblock today. Starting tomorrow I can. I don't know if I will because it's still not gonna feel that good. So when I do these microneedling, I really try not to do any makeup. If I can avoid it, sometimes I have no choice because I have to get on a call. But for the most part, I really try and keep the skin as just like pure and clean as possible. So does it hurt? I had so many people asking me. So it was really interesting because I did it 6 times. And sometimes it hurt and sometimes it didn't hurt at all. And Nicola does say that a lot of times where you're at with your cycle will make you more sensitive to these things. I also think that the amount of numbing cream you put on makes a difference, or how long you are numb for. And so one of the things that she does do is that when you're putting the numbing cream on the forehead, we actually put some saran wrap on it to really make sure it gets in there. And the forehead is the most sensitive, and then of course the upper lip. I actually found, you know, this area to be sensitive as well. But there were some treatments where it didn't hurt at all, and there are some treatments where I was like, oh my God, like let's get this over with. And the treatment lasts maybe about like 20 minutes. It's actually not too long. But then after that, as you saw, she puts a peel on it specific for, you know, because I have melasma. That hurts. But, you know, it doesn't last too long. And I have a pretty good pain tolerance. I've had 2 kids without a epidural, so I can handle it. So what's the recovery like? So Nicola had very specific instructions that I needed to do after these sessions. Most importantly, you don't want to be in the sun because, that would defeat the entire purpose. And for the first 48 hours, I look like a tomato. Like my face is very, very red. And I would say I probably don't get back to normal until a good week. You can start wearing makeup I'd say about 4 or 5 days after that microneedling treatment. I tried doing it prior, but then your makeup just tends to kind of flake and patch up because your skin, it's flaking off. And so you really can't wear makeup without it looking weird. But I tried. Trust me, I'm always filming, I'm doing Zoom calls. I tried. She also wants you to only use 2 products the first 2 days, and that's another Environ product. This is peptides, and then there's an oil that she gives me. She says only use these 2 products for the first 2 days after your microneedling treatment, and then after that you can go back onto your regular routine. So I really avoided going into the sun, and if I had to, I wore a hat. We're all wearing masks, so that actually kind of helped in this process. And so I was very, very particular with sun protection on those days, but I'm always particular with sun protection. I'm pretty paranoid about sun protection on my face because of the melasma. And the recovery itself, your skin does feel really dry. So this and the oil she gave me was amazing, and she told me to just reapply it throughout the day. So I would, especially when I felt dry. And actually the oil that she gave me, the facial oil, which I'm assuming you could probably use any facial oil, and I'm gonna list everything in the description below, but the facial oil she gave me was really, really nice, and it really helped. And I actually would put that on almost every night for a good week before I really felt like my skin was back to normal. So you do feel really dry, kind of tight, but it's not anything super uncomfortable. So did I see results? So I still have melasma. It's still there. Is my skin brighter? Yes. Does my pores look smaller? Yes. So I see a difference in my skin, and my melasma did lighten up. It has lightened up from the first time to now. My melasma is improved and it's better, but it's still there. And do I think these products helped? I don't know, honestly. I don't think I will continue using them. I'm just gonna finish them up. They're very expensive, and I feel like I don't know if that really did anything for my melasma. So it's not a miracle cure for melasma, it's not. But yes, my melasma is lighter. It's not as dark. My skin is brighter. So I am happy with the results. I feel like my skin overall looks a lot better. So is this it? Is there any more maintenance to this? Well, according to Nicola, you do need to go back and do 2 sessions every 6 months. So that is expensive. You're looking at 450 times 4. That's expensive. Am I gonna do that? I don't know yet. I might do it once a year, 2 sessions, or 2 sessions, or 1 session every 6 months, but it's a lot and it does add up. But I do know that, a lot of dermatologists, they recommend doing lasers once a year, or every 6 months. So regardless, I do believe in some kind of maintenance, whether it's lasers or microneedling or something like that. And, one of the things that she said, and other dermatologists have said, your 60-year-old skin will thank you by doing these things, in your 30s. And so that definitely stuck with me. And so I'll see when the time comes, if I want to do it again. I probably will, maybe for a couple years, and just to see if over time, it really does maintain the results, because that would be great, because I am really happy with the way that my skin looked. Would I recommend it? Well, with this series, it's definitely aggressive. It's 6 sessions, and I think if you do have any serious skin problems and you want to see results from microneedling, go to your local practitioner, talk to Nicola. She's a wealth of knowledge. If you're in the local Los Angeles area, you can visit her. And I think it depends on what you want out of it. But it is helpful. It does make your skin look better, look brighter. It builds the collagen. And that is hard to measure, right? It's hard to measure and know exactly, okay, how much collagen did it build? But I do feel as if my skin is better. It looks better. My makeup applies better. It looks better on camera. Even a lot of times when I wear makeup, my melasma shows through, and I don't feel like it shows through as much. And you'll see, you saw photos of me without my makeup here. I'm glad that I did it. I would do it again. And I think it's a great tool to have in your arsenal of skincare, and it's something that I do recommend. But you want to go to somebody that really, really knows what they're doing, that's been doing microneedling for a really long time. One of the things that Nicola did say to me is that, you know, she definitely goes a little bit deeper than other practitioners. She's definitely more aggressive because she's like, that's the way that you're going to see results. So you do want to find somebody that really knows what they're doing, and they've done it for a lot of people. You know, ask them to see a lot of befores and afters, and then make your decision that way. So let me know in the comments, have you ever done microneedling? Do you struggle with melasma? I mean, I could probably do so many more videos on melasma and the products I use and my journey with it. And I would love to know if what your thoughts on microneedling and melasma and all that stuff combined. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.